Around her, the holo showed a Drax X and technician walking away from her station. Around her, she didn't run. Around her, didn't grab a weapon. Around her, didn't scream for help. Around her, just pressed her palm against the bulkhead and closed her eyes. Around her, the bridge of the dominant will was coming apart. Around her, crew members vanishing mid-stride. Around her, consoles going dark. Around her, the network the thing humans had built was inside the ship now. Around her, inside the walls. Around her, inside the air. Around her, High Commander to our VAK stood frozen at the center of it all. Around her, for arms limp. Around her, cybernetic eye flickering. Around her, his armored hide looked gray instead of charcoal. Around her, he opened his mouth to speak. Around her, the technician disappeared. Around her, she's gone. Around her, someone whispered on the bridge. Around her, she's just gone. Around her, to our VAK turned to the camera. Around her, direct eye contact. Around her, the galaxy watching. Hey, we surrender. Around her, he said. Around her, his voice cracked. Around her, we surrender. Around her, we surrender. They wound her, the network did not care about surrender. They wound her, the dominant will folded 3 seconds later. Around her, you want to know how this started? Around her, the part they don't show in the history vids? Around her, stay close. Around her, 3 months earlier. Around her, Ambassador Mira Chen had stood in the Concord Hall with a black stone in her pocket and a declaration in her hands. Around her, the hall stretched into manufactured twilight. Around her, floating pods carried representatives from 73 species. Around her, each pod floated at a precise height. Around her, humanity's pod was near the floor. Around her, the VORTH were near the ceiling. Around her, around her, the Drax X and sat in between. Around her, Chen finished reading. Around her, Earth claims exclusive rights to a sphere of space 50 light-years in diameter around Sol. Around her, we ask all spacefaring species to respect this boundary. Silence. Around her, the translation field struggled with it. Around her, not human laughter. Around her, something harsher. Around her, something that sounded like rocks grinding together. Around her, Speaker Thrax raised a wing arm for order. Around her, but the laughter continued. Around her, the Zeathorian allegation made sounds like breaking glass. Around her, the Krellian representative's bioluminescence patterns flickered in amusement. Around her, only the VORTH did not react. Around her, High Commander to her VAK leaned forward in his pod. Around her, his 4 arms folded across his chest. Around her, armored hide catching the twilight. Around her, 50 light-years. Around her, your species controls 12 colonies. Around her, the Drax X Ani-Gemini controls 47 systems. Around her, we have been spacefaring for 3,000 years. Around her, you have been spacefaring for 80. Around her, 21,000 years of recorded history. Around her, Chen said. Around her, 80 of them in space. Around her, the rest were spent learning other things. Around her, to our VAK's mandibles spread. Around her, for part jaw licking. A smile. Around her, such as. Around her, we learned to kill each other. Around her, Chen said. Around her, very efficiently. Around her, many times. Around her, many methods. Around her, then we stopped. Around her, and we started learning other things. Around her, to our VAK asked again. Around her, Chen didn't answer. Around her, she just rolled the stone between her fingers. Around her, Black River rocked. Around her, smooth as glass. Around her, warm from years of handling. Around her, from the Yangtze. Around her, from before the off-world colonies. Around her, from before any of this. Around her, the silence stretched. Around her, Speaker Thrax broke it. Around her, Ambassador Chen. Around her, this council has heard your declaration. Around her, around her, you may step down. Around her, Chen didn't move. Around her, there is nothing to deliberate. Around her, Earth's boundaries are not negotiable. Around her, every boundary is negotiable. Around her, Thrax said. Around her, ours are not. Around her, she walked back to her pod. Around her, the stone moved from finger to finger. Around her, the laughter started again. Around her, quieter now. Around her, uncertain. Around her, like something that had been startled but didn't want to admit it. Around her, Ambassador Voss of the VORTH found her after the session. Around her, he moved slowly. Around her, ancient species moved that way. Around her, his eyes were milky. Around her, but Chen had learned not to underestimate what he could see. Around her, he used a staff to support his weight. Around her, his breathing was measured. Around her, deliberate. Around her, you handled that well. Around her, he said. Around her, no one believed us. Around her, no one believes anyone who draws a line for the first time. Around her, Voss leaned on his staff. Around her, I have watched 73 species join this council. Around her, the ones who draw lines are usually bluffing. Around her, the ones who don't are usually conquered. Around her, Voss was quiet for a moment. Around her, a long moment. Around her, his breathing filled the gap. Around her, I study species. Around her, it is my hobby. Around her, you are the third species I have encountered that does not bluff. Around her, the first two are extinct. Around her, that's comforting. Around her, it was not meant to be. Around her, Voss turned to leave. Around her, then stopped. I ask you something. Around her, of course. Around her, why claim so much territory? Around her, why risk provoking the hegemony? Around her, you could have drawn a smaller line. Around her, the line they might have respected. Around her, Chen looked out at the Concord Hall. Around her, empty now. Around her, the pod's dark. Around her, because a small line gets tested. Around her, a small line gets pushed. Around her, a small line tells the galaxy that you're not sure. Around her, what are you sure of? Around her, that we're done being prey. Around her, the stone stopped rolling. Around her, we've been spacefaring for 80 years. Around her, we've been invaded twice. Around her, had our ships seized 7 times. Around her, watched 3 colonies pay protection money to species who saw us as easy targets. Around her, we're tired of being tested. Around her, we're tired of explaining that we just want to be left alone. Around her, Voss nodded slowly. Around her, so you drew a line that cannot be ignored. Around her, we drew a line that cannot be crossed without consequences. Around her, and if someone crosses it, around her. Chen looked at him. Around her, then they learn why we stopped fighting each other. Around her, the Drac sex and hegemony responded 6 days later. Around her, High Commander Tor VAK stood before his own council. Around her, the footage leaked. Around her, Chen watched it in her quarters on the station. Around her, the stone was in her hand. Around her, the humans are bluffing. Around her, Tor VAK said, around her, his forearms spread wide. Around her, every young species bluffs. Around her, it is what they do. Around her, they draw lines. Around her, they hope the old powers will be intimidated. Around her, the old powers are not intimidated. Around her, one of his subordinates spoke. Around her, the VORTH fan. Around her, he urged caution. Around her, he said humans do not bluff. Around her, the VORTH have not fought a war in 600 years. Around her, they do not understand strength. Around her, to our VAK's cybernetic eye glowed. Around her, the traditional trade route passes through the human exclusion zone. Around her, it has been used for 3,000 years. Around her, we will not alter our course because a species that still uses fusion drives asks us politely. Around her, the research vessel. Around her, is irrelevant. Around her, to our VAK's mandibles spread. Around her, the Drax X and Raid fleet will transit the human exclusion zone on our traditional route. Around her, we will take the standard escort. Around her, 200 warships. Around her, perhaps 300. Around her, a show of force proportionate to the insult. Around her, 300 ships. Around her, that's what the humans need to see. Around her, that's what the galaxy needs to see. Around her, to her VAK leaned forward. Around her, if the humans wish to object. Around her, they are welcome to try. Around her, I suspect they will learn quickly why young species listen when their elders speak. They see that together is the end that jar to her spine. Around her, the transmission ended. Around her, Chen set down the stone. They, round her, picked it up again. Around her fingers moved automatically. Around her, Captain Elena Vega requested a private meeting the next day. Around her, she was younger than Chen expected. Around her, 38. Around her, dark hair pulled back. Around her, deep circles under her eyes. Around her, she wore the uniform of the Earth Defense Force Auxiliary. Around her, but she moved like someone who had spent more time in labs than on ships. Around her, you're the Cassandra's commander. Around her, Chen said. Around her, you requested a research vessel for a reason. Around her, Vega nodded. Around her, the Cassandra is the most advanced sensor platform in the fleet. Around her, we've been monitoring the Veil perimeter since deployment. Around her, suggest what? Around her, suggest that the perimeter is more than a defensive system. Around her, Vega pulled up a holo. Around her, 50 points of light. Around her, the platforms. Around her, they're autonomous. Around her, quantum vacuum powered. Around her, designed to detect. Around her, analyze. Around her, and eliminate unauthorized vessels. Around her, but the elimination method. Around her, is classified. Around her, I've run the calculations. Around her, the energy signatures. Around her, the spatial distortions. Around her, whatever the perimeter does to ships that enter the exclusion zone. Around her, it doesn't destroy them. Around her, it folds them. Around her, somewhere else. Around her, somewhere outside normal space. Around her, Chen was quiet for a long moment. Around her, you're not supposed to know that. Around her, I'm a scientist. Around her, I was going to figure it out eventually. Around her, what do you want? Around her, Captain? Around her, I want to volunteer the Cassandra for final warning duty. Around her, when the Drac Sex and fleet approaches the perimeter. Around her, someone needs to be there. Around her, someone needs to tell them one last time. Around her, tell them to turn back. Around her, tell them what's waiting for them. Around her, you're a research vessel. Around her, no weapons. Around her, the Cassandra has a transmitter. Around her, and a crew who understands what's at stake. Around her, Vega's voice was steady. Around her, we've all talked about it. Around her, we all volunteered. Around her, even knowing what will happen. Around her, especially knowing what will happen. Around her, Vega's hands were shaking. Around her voice wasn't. Around her, my daughter Sophia is 12. Around her, she asked me why we couldn't just let the Drac sex and pass. Around her, I told her that some lines matter. Around her, that if we don't defend our boundaries. Around her, no one will respect them. Around her, did she understand? Around her, I don't know. Around her, but I hope someday she will. Around her, Chen looked at the holo. Around her, the 50 points of light. Around her, I'll approve the mission. Around her, she said. Around you, but I want you to know something. Around her, Captain. Around her, what's that? Around her, I'm sorry it has to be you. Around her, I'm sorry it has to be anyone. Around her, Vega nodded. Around her, that's why we volunteered. Around you? Around her, because you're sorry. Around her, because you tried everything else. Around her, because when we drew the line. Around her, you didn't want anyone to cross it. Around her, she saluted. Around her, Clef. Around her, the door closed behind her. Around her, Chen rolled the stone. Around her, 3 times. Around her, the Drac Sex and fleet assembled at the rally point 3 days ahead of schedule. Around her, Tour VAK wanted to make a statement. Around her, he had succeeded. Around her, 300 warships hung in the void. Around her, running lights creating an artificial galaxy. Around her, each vessel massive. Around her, covered in armor thick enough to shrug off most weapons in the known galaxy. Around her, each one carrying enough firepower to level a small moon. Around her, Tour VAK stood on the bridge of the dominant will. Around her, for arms folded. Around her, cybernetic eye glowing. Around her, surveying his fleet through the main view screen. Around her, All ships report ready. Around her, his tactical officer said. Around her, to our VAK settled into his command chair. Around her, designed to accommodate his massive frame. Around her, broadcast on all frequencies. Around her, I want everyone to hear this. Around her, all channels open. Around her, Commander. Around her, every ship within 30 light years will receive. Around her, to her VAK leaned forward. Around her, his voice dropped into the formal register. Around her, this is High Commander to our VAK of the Drax Sex and Hegemony. Around her, the fleet you see before you will now proceed along our traditional trade route. Around her, this route passes through the region that the human species has claimed as exclusive territory. Around her, we do this to demonstrate a simple truth. Around her, young species do not dictate terms to their elders. Around her, the Drax Sex and Hegemony goes where it wishes. Around her, when it wishes. Around her, any attempt to interfere with our passage will be considered an act of war and will be met with the full force of imperial might. Around her, this is not a threat. Around her, this is a statement of fact. Around her, he made a cutting gesture. Around her, the transmission ended. Around her, set course. Around her, he ordered. Around her, standard formation. Around her, maximum scanner range. Around her, if the humans have any ships waiting for us. Around her, I want to know about them long before we arrive. Around her, the fleet moved as one. Around her, 300 ships executing the same turn. Around her, accelerating together toward the boundary of human space. Around her, the formation was beautiful. Around her, intimidating. Around her, to our VAK had chosen the traditional trade route specifically because it cut directly through the center of the human exclusion zone. Around her, he wanted there to be no doubt. Around her, no room for the humans to claim he had simply skirted the edge. He passed through the heart of their claimed space. Around her, he would do it unopposed. Around her, the journey to the boundary took 6 hours at standard fleet speed. Around her, our VAK spent the time reviewing tactical reports. Around her, deployment plans. Around her, he did not expect the humans to actually oppose him. Around her, but if they did. Around her, he wanted the response to be overwhelming and immediate. Around her, they quit. Around her, decisive defeat would serve as a better lesson than simply passing through unopposed. Around her, Commander. Around her, his sensor officer called out. Around her, we are approaching the boundary coordinates specified in the Human Declaration. Around her, any sign of human vessels. Around her, scanners show empty space ahead. Around her, no ships. Around her, no stations. Around her, no defense platforms. Around her, to our VAK felt satisfaction. Around her, and disappointment. Around her, satisfaction that his assumptions had been correct. Around her, disappointment that there would be no actual confrontation. Around her, no opportunity to demonstrate Drax X and superiority in combat. Around her, continue forward. Around her, he ordered. Around her, the fleet crossed the invisible line that marked the boundary of the human exclusion zone. Around her, our VAK noted the exact moment in the ship's log. Around her, let the historians record that the Drax X and Hegemony had treated human demands with the contempt they deserved. Around her, space looked exactly the same on both sides. Around her, the same distant stars. Around her, the same empty void. Around her, the human exclusion zone was just like any other region of space. Around her, devoid of anything special or dangerous. Around her, to our VAK said. Around her, estimated time to cross the exclusion zone. Around her, at current speed. Around her, approximately 8 days. Commander. Around her, his navigation officer replied. Around her, very well. Around her, I want scanner sweeps every 10 minutes. Around her, if a single human ship approaches. Around her, I want to know about it immediately. Around her, the first hour passed without incident. Around her, second hour. Around her, third. Around her, our VAK walked through the various sections of his flagship. Around her, inspecting the crew. Around her, ensuring readiness. Around her, the dominant will was a marvel of Drax Sex and engineering. Around her, armor plating 6 meters thick. Around her, energy weapons capable of cracking small moons. Around her, shields that had absorbed barrages that would have vaporized lesser vessels. Around her, he allowed himself a moment of satisfaction. Around her, this would be remembered. Around her, the day the Drax Sex and hegemony proved that human warnings were empty threats. Around her, Commander. Around her, the sensor officer said. Around her, we have a contact. Das die Inkaptar Tungushboin. Around her, single ship. Around her, small. Around her, approaching from galactic north. Around her, Tour VAK moved quickly to the sensor station. Around her, analysis. Around her, it's definitely human design. Around her, fusion signature matches their standard doctor systems. Around her, mass suggests a research vessel. Around her, not military. Around her, it's not even shielded. Around her, Thai research vessel. Around her, Tour VAK frowned. Around her, hail them. Around her, responding. Around her, putting them on screen. Around her, the main view screen shifted. Around her, a small bridge appeared. Around her, cramped by Drax 6 and standards. Around her, a human woman stood at its center. Around her, behind her. Around her, perhaps for other crew members working at various stations. Around her, this is Captain Eleanor Vega of the research vessel Cassandra. Around her, her voice was tired. Around her, you are currently in violation of Earth's exclusion zone. Around her, turn back now. Around her, this is your final warning. Around her, Tour VAK stared at the screen. Around her, then he began to laugh. Around her, his crew joined him. Around her, the sound echoed off the armored walls. Around her, your final warning? Around her, Tour VAK repeated. Around her, Captain Vega. Around her, look around you. Around her, 300 warships. Around her, each one capable of destroying your vessel with a single shot. Around her, and you issue warnings. Around her, Vega nodded slowly. Around her, I see your ships. Around her, they're very impressive. Around her, I'm still telling you to turn back. Around her, to our VAK's amusement faded. Around her, what will you do with your little research ship? Around her, Vegas said. Around her, but if you continue forward. Around her, something will. Around her, please. Around her, turn back. Around her, take the long route. Around her, that's 6 days to your journey. Around her, it's such a small price to pay. Around her, the only price that will be paid today is the one for your arrogance. Around her, 2 RVAK growled. Around her, you have 30 seconds to move your ship out of our path. Around her, or we will move it for you. Around her, Vega closed her eyes for a moment. Around her, to our VAK saw something unexpected in her expression. Around her, not fear. Around her, not anger. They whacked together as the Hinkat jarred through her spine. Around her, sadness. Around her, she said. Around her, I'm sorry we couldn't convince you. Around her, I'm sorry for what's going to happen. Around her, and I'm sorry that we tried so hard to avoid this. Around her, and you forced us to do it anyway. Around her, 20 seconds. Around her, my crew and I volunteered for this. Around her, we all signed up knowing what might happen. Around her, we drew straws to see who would get to be the last voice. Around her, the last person who tried to warn you. Around her, that's John to her spine. Around her, our families know. Around her, they're proud of us. Around her, I left a message for my daughter. Around her, Sophia. Around her, she's 12. Around her, I told her that some lines are worth drawing. Around her, even if no one believes you. Around her, fire. Around her, the weapons officer pressed a single button. Around her, a lance of superheated plasma crossed the distance between the dominant will and the Cassandra. Around her, in less than a second. Around her, the research vessel didn't even try to dodge. Around her, it simply vanished in a bright flash of light and expanding gas. Around her, silence filled the Drax Sex and bridge. Around her, resume course. Around her, 2 RVAK said quietly. Around her, he felt no satisfaction. Around her, something about Vega's words bothered him. Around her, she had been so calm. Around her, so resigned. Around her, as if she had expected exactly what happened. Around her, as if it had all been part of some larger plan. Around her, he shook off the thought. Around her, the Cassandra had been nothing. Around her, since. Around her, its destruction changed nothing. Around her, all ships maintained formation. Around her, continue forward. Around her, the fleet obeyed. Around her, 300 warships traveling through space where a single human ship had burned. Around her, 2 hours passed. Around her, 2 RVAK remained on the bridge. Around her, he sent his crew and shifts to rest. Around her, something felt wrong. Around her, he could not identify what. Around her, space looked normal. Around her, scans showed nothing unusual. Around her, the fleet systems all operated at peak efficiency. Around her, the sensor officer said. Around her voice uncertain. Around her, I'm getting something. Around her, not a ship. Around her, not anything solid. Around her, strange readings. Around her, define strange. Around her, I don't know how to describe it. Around her, the sensors are showing fluctuations in local space-time. Around her, nothing dangerous. Around her, just unusual. Around her, as if space itself is rippling. Around her, localized gravitic distortion. Around her, 2 RVAK suggested. Around her, natural phenomena. Around her, perhaps. Around her, I've never seen anything quite like this before. Around her, she worked her instruments. Around her, sir, it's moving with us. Around her, the readings are staying at a constant distance from the fleet. Around her, matching our speed exactly. Around her, 2 RVAK felt real concern. Around her, how is that possible? Around her, I don't know. Around her, sir. Around her, are we in any danger? Around her, I don't think so. Around her, the readings are weak. Around her, it's not interfering with our systems. Around her, it's just there. Around her, 2 RVAK made a decision. Around her, increase scanner power. Around her, full analysis. Around her, and send a message to all ships. Around her, I want to know if anyone else is detecting the same thing. Around her, responses came back within minutes. Around her, every ship in the fleet reported similar readings. Around her, the phenomenon surrounded them. Around her, a strange rippling in space itself that seemed to follow their movement. Around her, could it be a sensor malfunction? Around her, 2 RVAK asked. Around her, across 300 ships. Around her, sir. Around her, with different sensor arrays and manufacturers. Around her, highly unlikely. Around her, then what is it? Around her, no one had an answer. Around her, the fleet continued forward. Around her, the strange readings persisted. Around her, never strengthening. Around her, never fading. Around her, just maintaining their constant presence around the fleet like a shadow that moved in perfect sync with its source. Around her, other problems began to emerge. Around her, small things at first. Around her, minor glitches in navigation systems. Around her, brief power fluctuations. Around her, communication delays between ships that should have been instant. Around her, nothing serious. Around her, nothing that would normally cause concern. Around her, but added together. Around her, they created an atmosphere of unease that spread through the fleet. Around her, 2 RVAK ordered a full diagnostic of all systems. Around her, the results showed nothing wrong. Around her, every ship's computer confirmed that all systems operated within normal parameters. Around her, the glitches continued anyway. Around her, as if something was affecting the fleet in ways the diagnostics couldn't detect. Around her, his communications officer said nervously. Around her, the relentless. Around her, one of our destroyers on the outer perimeter. Around her, they've gone silent. Around her, 2 RVAK spun to face her. Around her, defined silent. They paused the Breton to respond. Around her, sir. Around her, they're still on sensors. Around her, still information. Around her, but they're not responding to any communication attempts. They respond. Around her, no indication of jamming. Around her, sir. Around her, the channel is clear. Around her, they're just not answering. Around her, a cold feeling settled into RVAK's chest. Around her, send a message to the ships nearest the relentless. Around her, Have them make visual contact. Around her, I want to know what's happening over there. Around her, he waited. Around her, watching the tactical display. Around her, the Relentless continued moving in formation. Around her, maintaining exact position relative to the rest of the fleet. Around her, its engines were clearly working. Around her, its systems appeared online. Around her, so why weren't they answering? Around her, sir. Around her, the communications officer said. Around her voice was shaking now. Around her, the ships we sent to check on the Relentless. Around her, the cold feeling spread. Around her, how many? They round her, 2 destroyers. Around her, sir. Around her, the Iron Fang and the Stormbreaker. Around her, both were moving toward the Relentless to establish visual contact. Around her, both stopped responding about 30 seconds ago. Around her, Tor VAK stared at the tactical display. Around her, 3 ships. Around her, all shown as green icons. Around her, all apparently functioning normally. Around her, but none of them responding. Around her, are they still moving? Around her, yes. Around her, sir. Around her, still maintaining formation perfectly. Around her, then who's piloting them? Around her, no one answered. Around her, Tor VAK made a decision he knew he might regret. They walked together as the impact jarred to her spine. Around her, halt the fleet. Around her, all stop. Around her, the order rippled through the ships. Around her, 300 vessels began reducing speed. They, coming to a relative stop in empty space. Around her, 300 vessels except for 3. Around her, the Relentless. Around her, the Iron Fang. Around her, the Stormbreaker. Around her, they continue forward. Around her, maintaining their original course and speed. Around her, pulling ahead of the rest of the fleet. Around her, they're not responding to the stop order. Around her, the navigation officer said. Around her, Tor VAK watched as the 3 ships grew smaller on the tactical display. Around her, moving away from the fleet. Around her, he waited for them to stop. Around her, to turn around. Around her, to do something that indicated living beings controlled them. Around her, they did nothing. Around her, they just kept moving forward. Around her, deeper into the exclusion zone. Around her, the distance grew. Around her, visual contact became impossible. Around her, the sensor officer whispered. Around her, they just vanished. Around her, the 3 ships. Around her, not destroyed. Around her, no debris. Around her, no explosion. Around her, they're just gone. Around her, sensors show nothing where they should be. Around her, 2RVAK felt his breathing quicken. Around her, full sensor sweep. Around her, they have to be somewhere. Around her, they searched for an hour. Around her, long-range scanners. Around her, short-range. Around her, visual. Around her, everything they could think of. Around her, 3 destroyers. Around her, each carrying 200 crew members. Around her, simply vanished from existence. Around her, and somewhere in his mind. Around her, Tor VAK heard Captain Vega's voice again. Around her, I'm sorry for what's going to happen. Around her, what had the humans done? Around her, what had he led his fleet into? Around her, Tor VAK had not slept in 36 hours. Around her, he stood on the bridge of the dominant will. Around her, staring at tactical displays that made less sense with each passing hour. Around her, his crew worked with quiet desperation. Around her, searching for answers that refused to appear. Around her, the fleet had lost 47 ships. Around her, not destroyed. Around her, simply gone. Around her, as if they had never existed at all. Around her, one moment they appeared on sensors. Around her, maintaining perfect formation. Around her, the next moment. Around her, empty space. Around her, no explosions. Around her, no debris fields. Around her, no distress calls. Around her, nothing. Around her, the disappearances followed no pattern Tor VAK could identify. Around her, ships on the outer perimeter vanished. Around her, ships in the center of the formation vanished. Around her, large battle cruisers and small frigates disappeared with equal frequency. Around her, the only constant was that once a ship went silent, Around her, it was already too late. Around her, sometimes seconds. Around her, it would simply cease to exist. Around her, report. They round her, 2RVAK demanded. Around her, his voice was hoarse. Around her, 253 vessels remaining. Around her, his tactical officer said. Around her, she looked exhausted. Around her, her scales had lost their normal sheen. Around her hands trembled. Around her, we have lost 6 more ships in the past hour. Around her, 6 ships. Around her, more than 1,200 crew members. Around her, damage reports. Around her, no damage to report. Around her, sir. Around her, ships that have not disappeared are all showing green across the board. Around her, all systems nominal. Around her, that was perhaps the most terrifying part. Around her, the ships that remained were fine. Around her, perfect. Around her, no system failures. Around her, no battle damage. Around her, no signs of any external threat. Around her, crews reported feeling uneasy. Around her, uncomfortable. Around her, as if they were being watched. Around her, but the ships themselves functioned flawlessly. Around her, right up until they vanished. Around her, what about the sensor readings? Around her, the spatial distortions? The tide, intensified. Around her, the rippling effect is much stronger now. Around her, some of our sensor technicians are reporting unusual feedback patterns. Around her, they describe it as if space itself is alive around us. Around her, 2RVAK felt his mandibles tighten. Around her, that's not scientifically possible. Around her, sir. Around her. He turned to his communications officer. Around her, any response from the humans? Around her, negative. Around her, sir. Around her, we have been broadcasting on all frequencies. Around her, requesting dialogue. Around her, requesting explanation. Around her, requesting anything. Around her, no response. Around her, either they're not listening. Around her, or they're choosing not to answer. Around her, 2RVAK didn't say the third possibility. Around her, that there might be no one left to answer. Around her, that whatever was destroying his fleet might also be destroying human settlements. Around her, but he didn't believe that. Around her, deep in his gut. Around her, he knew the humans were out there. Watching. Around her, letting this happen. Heinz Commander, the navigation officer called out. Around her, his voice tight with barely controlled panic. Around her, we have a problem with the jump coordinates. Around her, what kind of problem? Around her, I've been calculating jump vectors to get us out of this region. Around her, multiple routes. Around her, different destinations. Around her, everything I can think of. Around her, but every calculation, no matter where I set as the destination, shows us jumping deeper into the exclusion zone. Around her, 2RVAK crossed the bridge in 3 strides. Let me see. Around her, the navigation officer brought up his calculations on the main display. Around her, 2RVAK studied them. Around him, his own training in spatial mechanics allowed him to follow the complex mathematics. Around her, his officer was right. Around her, every jump vector. Around her, regardless of the intended destination. Around her, curved back toward the center of the human exclusion zone. Around her, as if space itself had warped. Around her, creating a gravitational well that pulled everything toward a single point. Around her, this is impossible. Around her, 2RVAK said. Around her, this would require manipulating space-time on a massive scale. Around her, the energy requirements alone would exceed anything we've ever seen. Around her, the math doesn't lie. Around her, then we travel the old way. Around her, plot a course using sublight engines. Around her, we'll return to the exclusion zone boundary the same way we came in. Around her, already tried that. Around her, sir. Around her, ships that have attempted to reverse course have disappeared faster than those that maintained our original heading. Around her, it's as if moving backward triggered something. Around her, then we go forward. Around her, forward is toward the center of the zone. Around her, sir. Around her, deeper into human space. Around her, 2RVAK wanted to scream. Around her, around her, he forced his voice to remain steady. Around her, are you telling me that we can only move in one direction? Around her, toward the heart of Earth's territory. Around her, it appears that way. Around her, sir. Around her, the communications officer said. Around her, we're receiving a transmission. Around her, human frequencies. Around her, every head on the bridge turned. Around her, finally. Around her, after hours of silence. Around her, the humans were making contact. Around her, the main view screen lit up. Around her, but it did not show a human face. Around her, simple text appeared. Around her, white letters on a black background. Around her, the translation field rendered it in Drax Sex and script. Around her, Yowrewarned. Around her, that was all. Around her, 3 words. Around her, then the transmission ended. Around her, to our VAK stared at the screen long after it went dark. Around her, his crew sat in silence. Around her, he finally said. Around her, tell them we acknowledge their message. Around her, tell them we request immediate communication to negotiate terms for our departure. Around her, the communications officer worked quickly. Around her, message sent. Around her, sir. Around her, they waited. Around her, 5 minutes. Around her, 10. Around her, no response came. Around her, sir. Around her, the tactical officer said quietly. Around her, we've lost 3 more ships while we waited. Around her, 2 RVAKs for hands clenched into fists. Around her, his breathing came in short. Around her, sharp bursts. Around her, he had led his fleet into this nightmare. Around her, he had ignored the warnings. Around her, he had destroyed the Cassandra and mocked Captain Vega's final words. Around her, now his people were paying the price. Around her, all ships, around her, activating the fleet-wide channel. Around her, this is Commander to our VAK. Around her, we have entered a situation beyond our understanding. Around her, whatever is affecting us appears to be some form of human defense system. Around her, we cannot jump to safety. Around her, we cannot reverse course without accelerating the rate of ship losses. Around her, our only option is to continue forward. Around her, and hope we can reach the far boundary of the exclusion zone before. Around her, he didn't finish the sentence. Around her, before what? Around her, before they all vanished. Around her, before the entire fleet ceased to exist. Around her, maintain tight formation. Around her, he continued. Around her, all ships are to report any anomalies immediately. Around her, plot the fastest course through the remaining exclusion zone. Around her, even if it takes us past Earth itself. Around her, we need to get out of this region. Around her, sir. Around her, his sensor officer said. Around her voice barely audible. Around her, you should see this. Around her, to our VAK moved to her station. Around her, she brought up a display showing the space surrounding the fleet. Around her, he saw nothing unusual. Around her, then she adjusted the frequency. Around her, shifting to a visual range that Drax Sex and eyes normally couldn't process. Around her, to our VAK's blood turned cold. Around her, the fleet wasn't traveling through empty space. Around her, they were surrounded by something. Around her, a structure of some kind. Around her, visible only in specific frequencies. Around her, it looked like a web. Around her, impossibly vast. Around her, stretching in all directions. Around her, threads of it connected to each ship. Around her, thin lines of something that wasn't quite matter and wasn't quite energy. Around her, what am I looking at? Around her, he asked. Around her, sir. Around her, whatever it is. Around her, it's been there all along. Around her, we just couldn't see it until I started scanning across the full spectrum. Around her, I think it's some kind of field. Around her, or network. Around her, it surrounds us completely. Around her, and the ships that disappeared. Around her, she brought up recorded data from just before one of the vanishing S. Around her, to our VAK watched as the thread surrounding one of his destroyers suddenly brightened. Around her, pulsed with light. Around her, contracted. Around her, the ship seemed to fold in on itself. Around her, geometry twisting in ways that hurt to look at. Around her, then it was simply gone. Around her, The threads remained for a moment. They around her, as if satisfied with their work. Around her, it's eating them. Around her, the sensor officer whispered. Around her, the field or whatever it is it's consuming our ships. Around her, Tuavak felt true fear for the first time in his military career. Around her, he had fought in dozens of battles. Around her, faced death more times than he could count. Around her, but he had always understood his enemy. Around her, ships could be fought. Around her, weapons could be countered. Around her, even overwhelming odds could be faced with courage and tactics. Around her, how did you fight space itself? Around her, how did you counter an enemy you couldn't see? Around her, couldn't target? Around her, couldn't even comprehend? Around her, the communications officer's shout pulled him from his thoughts. Around her, we're receiving another transmission. Around her, not from the humans. Around her, from the endless conquest. Around her, Captain Nun's battle cruiser. Around her, they report seeing something. Around her, Captain then appeared on screen. Around her, he was older than Tuavak. Around her, a veteran of countless campaigns. Around her, Tuavak had never seen him look frightened before. Around her, he looked frightened now. Around her, I don't know how to describe this. Around her, my crew is reporting visual anomalies. Around her, things moving between the ships. Around her, shadows where there should be none. Around her, and Sir, 3 of my crew members have disappeared from sealed sections of the ship. Around her, disappeared. Around her, inside the ship. Around her, sir. Around her, we have video footage. Around her, one moment they're walking down a corridor. Around her, the next moment they're just gone. They round her, like they walked through a door that doesn't exist. Around her, they never came back. Around her, before Tuavak could respond. Around her, another alert sounded. Around her, multiple ships reporting similar incidents. Around her, the tactical officer said. Around her, her voice shaking. Around her, crew members vanishing from inside their ships. Around her, equipment disappearing. Around her, some vessels report entire sections going dark. Around her, and when teams go to investigate, those sections are empty. Around her, completely empty. Around her, as if everything that was there. Around her, including the investigating team. Around her, simply ceased to exist. Around her, the situation was deteriorating faster than Tuavak could process. Around her, it was no longer just ships disappearing. Around her, whatever had trapped them was now reaching inside the ships themselves. Around her, selectively removing people and objects. Around her, like a predator picking meat from bones. Around her, all ships. Around her, implement lockdown protocols. Around her, Tuavak ordered. Around her, knowing even as he spoke that it would accomplish nothing. Around her, no one travels alone. Around her, everyone stays in groups of at least 4. Around her, seal all non-essential sections. They round her, the orders went out. Around her, they were followed. Around her, they made no difference. Around her, over the next 6 hours. Around her, Tuavak watched his fleet die. Around her, not quickly. Around her, not mercifully. Around her, methodically. Around her, like something was taking its time. Around her, taking its time because it had all the time in the world. Around her, and the fleet had nowhere to go. Around her, ships continued to vanish. Around her, 2 at a time now. Around her, sometimes 3. Around her, the web surrounding them grew brighter with each disappearance. Around her, as if feeding on the destruction. Around her, crew members disappeared from sealed compartments. They, round her, from guarded rooms. Around her, from the very bridges of their own ships. Around her, one moment present. Around her, the next moment gone. Around her, leaving behind only confused witnesses who could not explain what they had seen. Around her, some ships reported that their disappeared crew members could be heard over internal communications. Around her, screaming. Around her, begging. Around her, saying they were trapped somewhere else. Around her, somewhere wrong. Around her, somewhere that hurt to exist in. Around her, then the screams would stop. Around her, and the communications would go dead. Around her, Tuavak received a report that the Iron Storm, one of his largest battle cruisers, had been found drifting with no crew aboard. Around her, every single member. Around her, over 800 souls. Around her, vanished from a ship that showed no signs of intrusion or damage. Around her, the vessel was perfect. Around her, pristine. Around her, still operating on automatic systems. Around her, just empty. Around her, when a salvage team boarded it to investigate. Around her, they disappeared too. Around her, to our VAK stopped sending people to investigate. Around her, there was no point. Around her, whatever was happening followed no rules he understood. Around her, every attempt to study just resulted in more deaths. Around her, fleet count. Around her, he asked. Around her, his voice hollow. Around her, 112 ships. Around her, commander. Around her, the tactical officer replied. Around her, she had been crying. Around her, to our VAK didn't blame her. Around her, current rate of disappearance suggests complete fleet loss within 18 hours. Around her, 18 hours. Around her, less than a day until 300 ships and over 500,000 crew members would be completely erased from existence. Around her, keep trying to contact the humans. Around her, to our VAK said. Around her, tell them we surrender. Around her, tell them we will pay any reparations. Around her, tell them we acknowledge Earth's sovereignty over this region. Around her, tell them whatever they want to hear. Around her, just make them stop this. Around her, the communications officer worked frantically. Around her, sending message after message on every frequency available. Around her, pleading. Around her, promising anything and everything if the humans would just respond. Around her, they sent 147 messages over the next 3 hours. Around her, not one received a reply. Around her, the fleet continued forward. Around her, because it had no choice. Around her, the web around them pulsed and fed and consumed. Around her, and there was nothing they could do to stop it. Around her, to her VAK thought about Captain Vega again. Around her, her sad eyes. Around her, an apology. Around her, she had known. Around her, they had all known. Around her, the humans had tried to warn them. They around her tried to save them. Around her, and the Drax and had been too arrogant to listen. Around her, his sensor officer said. Around her, I'm detecting something ahead. Around her, I think it's a ship. Around her, human configuration. Around her, to her VAK felt a desperate surge of hope. Around her, hail them immediately. Around her, they're responding. Around her, a human face appeared on screen. Around her, middle-aged. Around her, wearing a military uniform. Around her, he looked at her VAK with an expression that might have been sympathy. Around her, commander to our VAK. Around her, the human said. Around her, my name is Captain James Rivas. Around her, I'm here to witness. Around her, to her VAK didn't understand. Around her, we need help. Around her, your system, whatever it is, it's destroying my fleet. Around her, make it stop. Around her, Rivas shook his head slowly. Around her, I can't do that. Around her, no one can. Around her, once you entered the exclusion zone without authorization. Around her, the defensive grid activated automatically. Around her, it cannot be deactivated while unauthorized vessels remain inside. Around her, then authorize us. Around her, we'll leave immediately. Around her, you can't leave. Around her, Rivas said gently. Around her, the grid won't allow it. Around her, commander. Around her, I truly am. They weren't her, but you were warned multiple times. Around her, you chose not to listen. Around her, to VAK roared. Around her, no, Rivas's voice was steady. Around her, this is self-defense. Around her, you brought a military fleet into our territory after being explicitly told not to. Around her, you destroyed the Cassandra when it tried one last time to save you. Around her, every death that occurs here is a direct result of your choices. Around her, we didn't know. Around her, we didn't understand what you had built. Around her, that's why we warned you. Around her, Rivas said. Around her, that's why we established the exclusion zone. Around her, that's why we begged the Galactic Council to make sure all species understood that our boundaries were not negotiable. Around her, we tried everything we could to prevent this. Around her, You forced us to do it anyway. Around her, onto her VAK's tactical display. Around her, 3 more ships vanished. Around her, what is it? Around her, to a VAK asked. Around her, his voice breaking. Around her, what did you do to this region of space? Around her, Rivas hesitated. Around her, then seemed to come to a decision. Around her, during our last World War. Around her, before we unified. Around her, we developed weapons we prayed we would never have to use. Around her, one of them was a theory about weaponizing space-time itself. Around her, creating fields that could trap, contain, around her, or eliminate anything that entered them. Around her, we never used it against ourselves. Around her, we shoved the research away. Around her, locked it in vaults. Around her, but when we started traveling the stars and realized how hostile the galaxy was, around her, how many species would see us as prey, he trailed off. Around her, we built 50 of them. Around her, 50 autonomous defense platforms positioned throughout the exclusion zone. Around her, each one maintaining a field that can detect, around her, and eliminate unauthorized vessels. Around her, they're powered by quantum vacuum energy. Around her, they'll run for 10,000 years without maintenance. Around her, you've turned your entire border into a death trap. Around her, 2 RVAK said. Around her, we've turned our border into a warning that means something. Around her, Rivas's voice was cold now. Around her, every other species in the galaxy uses ships to defend their space. Around her, ships that can be destroyed. Around her, fleets that can be defeated. Around her, we decided that if you wanted to invade human space, around her, you wouldn't fight human ships. Around her, you fight space itself. Around her, and you can't win against space. Around her, to our VAK's tactical display showed 87 ships. Around her, the number dropped to 84 as he watched. Around her, you're monsters. Around her, he whispered. Around her, Rivas acknowledged. Around her, but we're alive. Around her, and no one will ever threaten that again. Around her, he paused. Around her, I am truly sorry. Around her, for whatever it's worth. Around her, I hope you understand that we never wanted this. Around her, around her, the transmission ended. Around her, 2 RVAK stood alone on his bridge. Around her, watching his fleet disappear ship by ship. Around her, knowing that he would not live to see another day. Around her, the last thing he thought. Around her, as the threads around the dominant will began to brighten and pulse. Around her, was that humans had not lied. Around her, they had warned him. Around her, he had not listened. Around her, the web tightened. Around her, the ship folded. Around her, 500,000 Drax-XN. Around her, 300 ships. Around her, 3,000 years of conquest. Around her, gone in the time it takes to blink. Around her, the Concord Hall was filled to capacity for the first time in 3 centuries. Around her, every species. Around her, every faction. Around her, every political entity with any claim to power had sent representatives. Around her, they sat in their pods in complete silence. Around her, waiting for the session to begin. Around her, 2 weeks had passed since the Drax-XN fleet entered the Veil perimeter. Around her, 2 weeks since 300 warships and over 500,000 souls had vanished without a trace. Around her, the silence in the chamber was not respectful. Around her, it was terrified. Around her, Speaker Thrax rose from his pod. Around her, his 3-part beak trembled slightly as he spoke. Around her, this emergency session of the Galactic Council is now convened. Around her, the matter before us is the complete disappearance of the Drax-XN and Imperial Trade Fleet. Around her, last known position within the territorial region claimed by the human species of Earth. Around her, he paused. Around her, gathering courage for what came next. Around her, Ambassador Chen of Earth has agreed to address the Council. Around her, I remind all present that this is a diplomatic inquiry. Around her, not a trial. Around her, all species are requested to maintain decorum and allow the ambassador to speak without interruption. Around her, Mira Chen entered the chamber through the main doors. Around her, walking alone across the vast floor to the center position. Around her, she looked exactly as she had 3 months earlier. Around her, same simple gray suit. Around her, same calm expression. Around her, same black stone in her pocket. Around her, She did not look like someone who had just committed the greatest mass killing in galactic history. Around her, Ambassador Chen. Around her, Thrax said carefully. Around her, the Council requests information regarding the fate of the Drax sex and fleet. Around her, can you provide us with answers? Aurelia. Around her, Chen said simply. Around her, the single word sent a ripple of reaction through the chamber. Around her, she was not denying involvement. Around her, she was not claiming ignorance. Around her, just yes. Around her, Thrax said. Around her, tell us what happened. Around her, Chen looked around the chamber. Around her, making eye contact with various representatives. Around her, the stone moved between her fingers. Around her, the Drax sex and fleet entered our exclusion zone despite multiple warnings. Around her, they were informed of the boundaries. Around her, they were told not to cross. Around her, they chose to cross anyway. Around her, our automated defense systems responded as designed. Around her, the fleet was eliminated. Around her, the chamber erupted. Around her, shouts in dozens of languages. Around her, the translation field rendered them into a cacophony of outrage. Around her, around her, Thrax had to call for order 3 times before the noise subsided. Around her, you admit responsibility? Around her, Thrax asked. Around her, I confirmed that our defense systems functioned as intended. Around her, Chen replied. Around her, 500,000 people. Around her, the shout came from the Drax sex and pod. Around her, Acting Commander Rashkel stood. Around her, his scales dark with grief and rage. Around her, 500,000 of my people wiped out. Around her, and you stand there calmly admitting it. Around her, Chen turned to face him. Around her, I'm sorry for your loss. Around her, Commander. Around her, but your people were warned multiple times. Around her, at the council session 3 months ago. Around her, at the boundary of our exclusion zone. Around her, even when a single research vessel attempted one final warning. Around her, your High Commander chose to ignore every warning. Around her, chose to destroy the Cassandra and its crew. Around her, chose to continue forward. Around her, the consequences of those choices were his responsibility. Around her, we defended our territory. Around her, Chen corrected. Around her, her voice still calm. Around her, the difference is significant. Around her, this council must condemn these actions. Around her, Rashkel looked around the chamber. Around her, seeking support. Around her, we cannot allow one species to claim the right to destroy entire fleets without consequence. Around her, today it is Drax XN. Around her, tomorrow it could be any of you. Around her, he had a point. Around her, many council members were nodding. Around her, Ambassador Voss of the VORTH spoke up. Around her, his ancient voice cutting through the tension. Around her, Ambassador Chen. Around her, I have a question that I believe speaks to the heart of this matter. Around her, you say your defense systems responded as designed. Around her, what exactly are these defense systems? Around her, how did they eliminate 300 warships so completely that we have found no debris? Around her, no survivors? Around her, no trace whatsoever? Around her, Chen was quiet for a moment. Around her, considering how much to reveal. Around her, if we explain our defensive capabilities. Around her, she finally said. Around her, we will be sharing classified military information with the entire galaxy. Around her, that is not something we do lightly. Around her, however, around them, given the circumstances, around her, Earth's government has authorized me to provide a limited disclosure. Around her, she pressed something on a device she carried. Around her, holographic displays appeared above her. Around her, visible to the entire chamber. Around her, showing complex equations. Around her, 3-dimensional models of spatial geometries. Around her, schematics that looked more like abstract art than technology. Around her, during our final global conflict. Around her, before Earth unified. Around her, multiple nations developed theoretical weapons based on manipulating spacetime itself. Around her, the research was dangerous. Around her, ethically questionable. The right together is the impact to our time. Around her, ultimately shelved. Around her, when we began exploring the galaxy and realized the level of aggression we would face. Around we spent 60 years perfecting it. Around 20 years building the actual platforms. Around her, she manipulated the display. Around her, showing a three-dimensional map of the exclusion zone. Around her, 50 points of light appeared. They around her, distributed throughout the region. Around her, the result is what we call the veil perimeter. Around her, 50 autonomous platforms. Around her, each one generating a field that extends throughout the exclusion zone. Around her, the fields overlap. Around her, creating a net of warped space-time. Around her, when unauthorized vessels enter the zone. Around her, the net activates. Around her, and does what? Around her, pause pressed. Around her, it isolates them. Around her, Chen said. Around her, the ships don't explode. Around her, they don't disintegrate. Around her, they're folded into pocket dimensions. Around her, separate quantum spaces that exist alongside our own universe. Around her, but cannot interact with it. Around her, from the perspective of normal space. Around her, they simply cease to exist. Around her, horror spread through the chamber like a wave. Around her, several representatives made religious gestures specific to their species. Around her, others simply stared in shock. Around her, Thrax said slowly. Around her, that the Drax sex and fleet still exists. Around her, trapped in some other dimension. Around her, in a manner of speaking. Around her, Chen said. Around her, though exists, might be too generous a term. Around her, the pocket dimensions are not designed to sustain life. Around her, they have no conventional physics. Around her, no time as we understand it. Around her, anything placed inside them is effectively frozen. Around her, preserved in a state that is neither alive nor dead. Around her, quantum stasis. Around her, that's obscene. Around her, someone whispered. Around her, that's effective. Around her, Chen countered. Around her, our exclusion zone has one purpose. Around her, to ensure that anyone who violates our boundaries cannot threaten Earth. Around her, cannot return to tell others where our defenses are weak. Around her, cannot encourage others to test us. Around her, the veil perimeter accomplishes all three objectives. Around her, can they be retrieved? Around her, theoretically. Around her, if the platforms were deactivated and the fields collapsed. Around her, anything trapped inside would return to normal space. Around her, doing so would leave Earth defenseless. Around her, and we have no intention of decapitating tower defenses. Around her, so they are lost forever. Around her, they were lost the moment Commander to our VAK gave the order to enter our territory. Around her, Chen replied. Around her, we gave you fair warning. Around her, we could not have been more clear. Around her, your High Commander gambled that we were bluffing. Around her, that a young species could not possibly have developed weapons capable of stopping a Drax sex and fleet. Around her, he was wrong. Around her, that is tragedy. Around her, certainly. Around her, but it is not murder. Around her, the council chamber fell silent again. Around her, representatives looked at each other. Around her, in those looks. Around her, understanding passed between them. Around her, fear. Around her, a fundamental recalculation of how they viewed humanity. Around her, Thrax cleared his throat. Around her, Ambassador Chen. Around her, the council must now deliberate on this matter. However, around her, I have one final question before you depart. Around her, you have revealed the existence of these weapons. Around her, you have shown us to some degree how they function. Around her, are you not concerned that other species will now develop countermeasures? Around her, or similar weapons of their own? Around her, Chen smiled slightly. Around her, for the first time. Around her, there was something cold in her expression. Around her, let them try. Around her, she said. Around her, the physics involved require an understanding of quantum mechanics and space-time manipulation that we spent centuries developing. Around her, even with the information I have shared today, around her, it would take most species hundreds of years to replicate our work. Around her, our defenses will have evolved. Around her, the veil perimeter is first-generation technology. Around her, we are already working on second and third-generation systems. Around her, She let that sink in for a moment. Around her, but more importantly, around her, we hope that no one will try. Around her, we hope that today's revelation will serve as a permanent warning to the galaxy. Around her, Earth has boundaries. Around her, those boundaries are absolute. Around her, cross them and you will not be fought. Around her, you will simply cease to exist in any meaningful way. Around her, we don't say this as a threat. Around her, we say it as a fact. Around her, test us and you will share the Drax sex and fleet's fate. Around her, and if the council decides that your actions constitute war crime? Around her, Rashkill demanded. Around her, if we vote to sanction Earth. Around her, to demand you dismantle these weapons. Around her, Chen's smile faded. Around her, then we will politely decline and withdraw from the Galactic Council. Around her, we join this organization hoping for peaceful coexistence and mutual respect. Around her, if the Council cannot provide that, if our desire for simple sovereignty is viewed as aggression, then we have no place here. Around her, we will return to the Sol system. Around her, seal our borders completely. Around her, and have no further contact with galactic civilization. Around her, you would isolate yourselves? Around her, Voss asked. Around her, cut off all trade. Around her, all cultural exchange. Around her, all diplomatic relations. Around her, yes, around her, Chen said. Around her, we survived 10,000 years alone on one planet. Around her, we can survive another 10,000 alone in one star system. Around her, it would be a loss. They thought certainly. Around her, but it would be preferable to being constantly tested. Around her, constantly threatened. Around her, constantly told that our boundaries do not matter because we are young. Around her, she looked around the chamber one final time. Around her, we came to the stars hoping to find friends. Around her, she said quietly. Around her, we found predators. Around her, so we learned to be something that predators avoid. Around her, that is not the story we wanted to write. Around her, but it is the story you forced us to write. Around her, we gave you every opportunity to respect our borders. Around her, the Drax sex and hegemony chose differently. Around her, the consequences of that choice are not our responsibility. Around her, she bowed slightly to Speaker Thrax. Around her, walked toward the exit. Around her, wait. Around her, Ambassador Voss floated his pod down to the chamber floor. Around her, something rarely done during official sessions. Around her, he moved slowly. Around her, his staff clicking against the polished surface. Around her, Ambassador Chen. Around her, may I speak with you privately? Around her, Chen stopped. Around her, of course. Around her, Ambassador. Around her, they moved to a side chamber. Around her, the main council erupted in debate behind them. Around her, once they were alone. Around her, I tried to warn them. Around her, he said. Around her, 3 months ago. Around her, I told her VAK that humans do not bluff. Around her, I told him you were dangerous. Around her, he did not listen. Around her, Chen said. Around her, we monitored the council session. Around her, we appreciated your attempt to prevent this. Around her, appreciated it enough to tell me the truth. Around her, Boss asked. Around her, what you told the council today about pocket dimensions and quantum stasis, that was a simplification. Around her, was it not? Around her, there is something more to your veil perimeter. Around her, Chen studied him for a long moment. They bowed her, then nodded slowly. Around her, there is something more. Around her, will you tell me? Around her, why do you want to know? Around her, because I study humans. Around her, Boss said. Around her, it is my life's work to understand your species. What together, asked the human jarred through her spine. Around her, and what I have learned is that humans are very good at one thing: escalation. Around her, you never build just one weapon. Around her, you build layers. Around her, backup plans. Around her, systems within systems. Around her, the veil perimeter is terrifying. Around her, but I do not believe it is the only thing protecting your borders. Around her, Chen's expression revealed nothing. Around her, her silence confirmed his suspicion. Around her, I will tell you this. Around her, she finally said. Around her, The platforms I described, the ones that fold ships into pocket dimensions, those are defensive systems. They round her. They respond to intrusions. Around her, but we also have offensive capabilities. Around her, weapons that can reach out across any distance. Around her, and target anyone who threatens us. Around her, we have never used them. Around her, we hope we never have to. Around her, but they exist. Around her, hidden somewhere in your exclusion zone. Around her, hidden everywhere in the galaxy. Around her, Chen corrected. Around her, we have had 80 years to prepare. Around her, Ambassador Voss, say, like 2 years to plant seeds. Around her, establish contingencies. Around her, ensure that Earth's survival does not depend solely on defending one region of space. Around her, we are cautious by nature. Around her, some would say paranoid. Around her, perhaps they are right. Around her, but paranoia has kept us alive. Around her, Voss felt a chill run through him. Around her, you are saying that Earth could strike back at any species. Around her, at any time. Around her, we are saying that anyone who harms Earth would come to regret it. Around her, Chen replied. Around her, we do not advertise this capability because we do not want to use it. Around her, but if pushed, if truly threatened, we will do whatever is necessary to ensure our survival. Around her, she moved toward the door. Around her, thank you for trying to warn them. Around her, she said. Around her, I genuinely mean that. Around her, the galaxy needs voices like yours. Around her, voices that advocate for caution and understanding. Around her, I hope that in time, around her, more species will listen to such voices. As she laughed, around her, Voss stood alone. Around her, with the terrifying understanding of what humanity had become. Around her, not conquerors. Around her, not explorers seeking to expand. Around her, but something potentially more dangerous. Around her, a species so committed to their own survival that they had turned themselves into something the galaxy would learn to avoid at all costs. Around her, 6 months later. Around her, the galaxy had changed. Around her, the Drax X and hegemony collapsed within weeks of the fleet's disappearance. Around her, without their military leadership. Around her, without the fear that had held their conquered territories together. Around her, the empire simply fell apart. Around her, 47 systems that had been held under Drax X and control for generations rose up simultaneously. Around her, some declared independence. Around her, others formed new alliances. Around her, a few descended into civil war. Around her, the Galactic Council passed the Earth Accord. Around her, recognizing every species' right to establish defensive zones around their home systems. Around her, the core principle was simple. Around her, every species had the right to defend its borders. Around her, those borders would be recognized by the Council as sovereign territory. Around her, the Earth Accord was not perfect. Around her, wars did not end. Around her, species still had disputes. Around her, still competed for resources. Around her, still occasionally came into conflict. Around her, but the nature of those conflicts changed. Around her, boundaries were recognized. Around her, warnings were heeded. Around her, the automatic assumption that military superiority meant victory was no longer automatic. Around her, at the edge of the Veil perimeter. Around her, a memorial station was built. Around her, twin monuments stood there. Around her, one for the crew of the Cassandra. Around her, 5 names. Around her, Captain Eleanor Vega. Around her, for volunteers who had drawn straws and lost. Around her, below the names. Around her, a simple inscription they volunteered to be the last warning. Around her, they hoped you would listen. Around her, the other monument listed every name from the Drax X and fleet. Around her, 500,000 names. Around her, engraved on plates of metal that would last for millennia. Around her, below those names. Around her, another inscription: they followed orders. Around her, they believed in their cause. Around her, they ignored warnings and paid the ultimate price. Around her, let their sacrifice teach us that pride and power are not substitutes for wisdom. Around her, ships from across the galaxy came to read the inscriptions. Around her, then they turned around and left. Around her, 50 years later. Around her, Ambassador Mirad Chen sat in the quiet garden. Around her, the garden was on Earth. Around her, a small space. Around her, Kuanya. Around her, a monument to peace. Around her stone sat on a bench nearby. Around her, a visitor had left it there. Around her, polished. Around her, still smooth. Around her, a child walked past. Around her, maybe 7 years old. Around her, she picked up the stone. Around her, turned it over in her hands. Around her, what's this? Around her, she asked to a parent. Around to her stone. Around her, the parent said. Around her, a reminder. Around her, the parent looked at the garden. Around her, at the monuments. Around her, at the sky where ships passed safely. Around her, always avoiding one region of space. Around her, that some warnings are not suggestions. Around her, the child put the stone back on the bench. They walked away. Around her, Chen watched them go. Around her, she picked up the stone. Around her, rolled it between her fingers. Around her, the same black river rock she'd carried since Beijing. Around her, same weight. Around her, same silence. Around her, she hadn't rolled it in years. Around her, didn't need to anymore. Around her, the galaxy had learned it. Around her, the boundaries held. Around her, the warnings were heeded. Around her, but as she sat in the garden she'd helped build. Around her, Chen wondered if being feared was the same as being safe. Around her, she never found an answer. Around her, neither has anyone else. Around her, the stone sat on the bench. Around her, the garden grew quiet. Around her, the ships passed overhead. Around her, always at a distance. Around her, always giving Earth its space. Around her, somewhere out there. Around her, at the edge of the veiled perimeter. Around her, the twin monuments still stood. Around her, the warning still echoed across the void. Around her, stay out. Around her, 2 words that had changed everything. Around her, the galaxy never laughed at Earth again.